Hello and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Pint, the only West Ham United post-match for the show on the internet. We've just come back from the London Stadium, where it was West Ham 2, Newcastle 2. I know this is going to cause a bit of debate. Do you think that was a fair result?
Overall, yeah. I think they had more chances. We both had three on target each. They had more possession than us. I thought we controlled the first half. Just couldn't get our second goal. I think second half they were a better team than us for the majority of it. So yeah, I'd say a fair result.
I can't call it fair because they shouldn't have had 11 players on the pitch. I think, and looking back at that, I think the rest has bottled it big time. And based on that, if we're 1-0 up and they're down to 10 men, it's a different story. And then there's also a conversation about Almiron, who could have been sent off because Emerson got booked for asking for a card. Almiron was on a yellow, asked for a card, don't get booked.
Yeah, there's no consistency with the ref. I mean, his name was Peter Banks today, and we might as well have had Gordon Banks refereeing that game because it was dreadful. Like.
He's had something in his bank.
He's leading up to their first goal wasn't a free kick. You know, we really just quickly watched the highlights back, but obviously you watch matches a day later, you see more of the highlights. But yeah, it's I think it was fair. As I said, I think we started the game brilliantly. We scored a great goal. Paqueta down the left, Emerson with a great touch, round the goalkeeper, keeper's in no man's land, puts it across, and Souček won't score an easier goal all season. And it was a great start.
What a touch that is from Emerson. Yeah. I'll tell you something now, right? Emerson has gone really under the radar as one of our players of the season because I thought he was I think he's been.
He don't get enough credit, I don't think.
No, I think he's been good. Second half of last season, especially towards the end of last season, and then this season he's just started flying. We've been crying out for a replacement for Creswell, and we've tried different players down the years, and no one's ever fitted into that. And I said it before, and I'll hold my hands out. I got it wrong with Emerson because I thought he was just going to come in and be another one of these ex-Chelsea players, you know, have a bit of ego about him. But no, he's been brilliant, and I rate him, and I think he's been great for us, and especially down that left side. The relationship he's got with Paqueta, you know, he's relishing his time here. It's good.
Well, that's been something, you know, no one really considered, like, Paqueta on the left, but it's worked. And
it's working.
And like you said, them two together are a great combination. Is, you know, Paqueta's ability to help with the defensive side of the game. It gives Emerson that extra support, but then the skillfulness, their ability to link up together and be in sync, I think is quality.
Listen, I don't think Paqueta had his best game, but the things he does.
I've made a lot of misplaced passes.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of players that didn't really stand out. But Jarrett Bowen, I thought, didn't have a great game. He basically turned up in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Prowse went one of his best games.
Prowse, I thought Prowse started well.
First half, yeah.
And then he sort of like dipped down, like the way he was moving around in the first half, looking to get the ball.
He was making tackles, winning the ball back. Yeah.
Alvarez, I think it was just a standard Alvarez performance.
He was
great,
quality. Some of the stuff he does, mate.
Souček had a good game, got his goal. I think the back four looked solid today. Areola didn't really have much to do apart from pick the ball out the back.
He made a really good save once from Dan Burn at a close range.
Yeah.
And you know, when that guy's having a header on goal, that point blank, usually in the back.
I just think, like, I know there's a lot of disappointed fans out there today, and obviously we want to win, but Newcastle are a good team. You know, it don't matter what team. I know they've had a few injuries, but whatever team they put out is going to be strong. You know, you see the run they had last season. They beat PSG on Wednesday night. You know, we was hoping they was going to be suffering from a bit of a European hangover, but that's what teams like Newcastle do. They're hard to beat. And the thing is, what I love about West Ham this season is that last season we'd have gone on to lose that.
Oh, yeah.
We would have lost that game.
3-1. 3-1, 4-1.
Yeah, I think with the difference with this side this season and the players we've got in, we don't give up. We keep going. As long as we're in the game, you feel like we're going to score. We're scoring every game, you know, so you always feel like we're going to get a goal off. Me and you said it, didn't we, mate? Antonio he just weren't at the races. I think that, for me, I was surprised that he was starting today, and I think that he's getting to that point now where he needs to be dropped to make an impact as a sub and then try to win his way back into the starting 11, because now that Kudus looks ready to go, I think that you have to start him now, and unfortunately Antonio's going to be the one that's going to have to take the chop.
It'd be criminal not to start Kudus over Antonio at this point. And I always thought, like, Antonio's had a really good run at West Ham. He's had a really good career. He's our top Premier League goal scorer. Can't take anything away. But he's obviously getting to an age and that stage in his career now where he's still got something to offer, but that's not as a start. I think he could be really good off the bench because then he can give you, say, for 15 minutes, everything condensed into 15
We said it, didn't we? When he went through one-on-one each 2 seasons ago, he would have got that. He's just lost that 3 or 4 yards of pace. Look, he's still effective. Like, I would never say Antonio shouldn't be involved, but I still think he can affect games. But I think now he might just be getting to that age where give him a rest, let him come on, because we've seen him do that before when he goes in his bad runs. He gets dropped, he comes off the bench, and he gets straight back into it. And maybe that's what he needs.
I think that, listen, I think I'm the same. And I think as his age catches up with him, Antonio, the problem with Antonio is he hits really purple patches of form. He does. He start the season, I thought or was it the end of last season? I can't really remember. But yeah, really purple patch of form, and you thought he's scoring again. He's playing well. Listen, I think he does bits and pieces well.
Yeah, I mean,
but his energy levels.
Credit for that first goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And he does some good things. And I don't think it was his worst game by a long shot. But the problem with him is he can't sustain a period of good form. It's either really good or really bad. And he'll have that really good patch followed by a really bad dry patch.
He'll go to 5 or 6, 7.
Do you know what the funny thing is? It used to be he'd have a good patch and then get injured, and we'd all think, Antonio could stay fit for a whole season.
But I think that's just what comes with age with him. He's at the end of that, what's he, 34?
Yeah, he's
sounds like 34. Yeah, he's 34, playing every minute of Premier League games for.
And how he plays in his game and what he's required to do of running as much as he has to, the physicality of his game.
And I know people are going to laugh, but when it's hot like this as well, it was 30 degrees inside that stadium today. It's like in the beginning of October. I mean, that's not usual, but. When you're playing that with the energy that he's required to play with, that does affect a 34-year-old man. You know what I mean? Like it affects anyone. But I'm just saying, like, and I know people are going to be sitting there, it was just hot for them. Well, no, because he's at 24, he's 34. You know what I mean? Like there's a big difference when it comes to a football career. But I agree. And this is again, like you go back to we need a centre forward. We needed to replace Skamaka. Can Kudus do that? I hope so. Because I'll tell you what, the way I'm going to sort of allude to why I think he can do that is the way he was bringing the ball down, the way he was pulling away from his men,
holding it up,
pulling out 3-4 men.
Well,
he's energetic.
And I said that 3 or 4 weeks ago. You all disagreed with me.
Well, wait, what about what?
That Kudus playing up top.
Well, the thing is, it's not. If Kudus is going to play in his best position, that's where you want him. But at this stage, like. What else? What's the alternative?
He can play there. He played there for Ajax. He played there for Ghana. He's got that in his locker, and I think I prefer him out the right. If I'm honest, I'd prefer him out
either in the right or behind the striker.
Yeah, to come in. But if we need him to play up front, he's a good option.
It's better than the alternative,
and I think he's got that in his locker. I mean, I'd rather have him try than Danny Ings.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's what I mean. I think Kudus right now up top over Antonio or Ings, I think, is the better solution. It's not ideal because you want him in his best positions and all of that, but I think it's better than Bowen even up top.
What we need to do is we need to go out in January and we need to just chuck some money and we need to get in and out striker at this football club. Once that fits.
There was a chance today, and Ryan, I think this is what Ryan's alluding to, where the ball flashes across, Ward-Prowse flashes it across. And all it took was a striker's instinct to gamble.
Well, it was Antonio, wasn't it? He didn't jump. But I said, you have a number 9. He's sliding in on that. He's like
it.
If Man City put that, but Haaland's tapping that in. That's what out and out strikers do, and that's one thing that Antonio does. He just hasn't got that striker's instinct. Sometimes he has when he doesn't have to think about it.
Yeah,
he can do it. But I don't want to sit here and slay Antonio because look, it's tough. It's tough out there, and Newcastle are a well-drilled team. They're organised. They're back four. Trippier on the right. I think Dan Burn was playing on the left. I think he's the tallest left back in the world. I think I've never seen someone so big. But no, look, they're a decent side. They're hard to beat. They got to the top 4 last season because they deserved it. you know. And I just think overall, I think maybe a point each is a fair result.
Yeah, I agree. On the balance of the actual game and the quality of both teams, I agree. But
I agree. He should have got a second yellow because it was Bruno. Was it Bruno?
Bruno, yeah.
Bruno, wasn't it? Yeah, it was when Will Prowse went through and he brought him down.
Yeah, he was so late and he basically tripped him up.
Bearing in mind, a player gets a yellow card for going like that, but then you stop play on a break and the referee didn't give the yellow. So yeah, in that way, it goes down to 10 men. Yeah, we're
1-0 up. Yeah, it's a different story. And
I think the referees, with what went on last week with that stuff at Tottenham for Liverpool with the offside, and we've all heard the audio during the week, I think referees this weekend, I had a feeling that they was going to be a bit on edge. They're scared to make mistakes. And I don't know if you see it yesterday with Paul Merson had a row with Mike Dean on there, and the way Mike Dean just dismissed ex-players, saying this is why we don't have ex-players involved, because they don't know the laws. And Paul Merson just sort of went back at him and went, well, what's the laws then? He said, and I found that very disrespectful from Mike Dean. You know, these players have played the game, they understand the laws. And I mean, when we watched the replay back, it looked like, when that first ball come in, Isaac was in an offside position, obviously because he didn't touch it first. But for me, as soon as that ball gets touched, he's got an advantage offside. Because he can now then run in. All right, the header comes across, he taps it in. But as soon as that ball's touched, he's offside. That's what they need to work out. Because at the moment, I don't think the referees, I don't think VAR, I don't think the players, I don't think managers, I don't think everyone knows the exact law and the rules because they keep changing it too much. Why are we the only country that refused the technology that they had in the World Cup with the automatic offside? It worked perfect. Everywhere else in the world, it works perfect.
Because
we won't have it.
Because, Roy, I'm going to tell you why, and this is my opinion, and this is not an opinion of the channel, but this is my own personal opinion. They don't want to be able to break that, I'm not being funny, that hold that they have on the top six. It's a brand, right?
But the thing is, though, the VAR, right, can be good. But if that happened last week and it was before VAR, we'll all say, okay, it's human error. People make mistakes. We understand that. But when you're given technology and you can't get that right, and then you've got 4 people, well, I say 3 because one of them knew it was offside and he was the one saying to them, like, look, stop the game. But they just bottled it. They could have easily stopped that game, whether it was a minute or 2 minutes in. But it needs to be sorted because VAR can be good. It can be useful. And the one thing I always thought about VAR was it might not be great, but the offside's good. Because they always seem, when they get their lines out and that, and 9 times out of 10, they're right. But they're making too many mistakes. You're saying sorry all the time. Sorry doesn't bring back a relegated team. Sorry doesn't give a title to someone that's lost it by a point. You know, you can't. It's livelihoods and you know, it's things like that. And it just needs to be looked into a bit more.
I'll be honest with you, mate. Look, I don't think you can link that to this week's game because I think the referee was just poor. You know what I mean? But
he was poor the whole game.
It was foul. It was poor. It was just a poor referee, right? It was just a poor referee. He had a poor game. But that argument with Paul Merson and between Paul Merson and Mike Dean was I think is what it showed the problem. Mike Dean is the geezer that's in charge of these referees, right? So he's going in there and going, yeah, well, they're back in for training this week. Training. I mean, that is just...
He said they get sent tests every couple of days where they've got a scenario where, like, you know, like on a driving test where you see a hazard and you touch it straight away. But it's all good doing that, but doing training in a room on your own and then putting you in front of 60,000 people in a stadium, you can't...
Mate, that could have been... The whole thing could have been eradicated if it had just turned around and go, yeah, that's not a goal. Or, yeah, that's a goal. That is all that needed to be said. All this, yeah, right decision.
Yeah.
Well, for one, work out what the fucking decision is first. You need to be 100% fucking sure what the decision is. You know, you can't just turn around and go, right decision.
By the sounds of it, he got he went, we're going with the on-field decision, and that's when you hear him go, but the on-field decision was offside.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's when he realises, because he must have thought, oh shit, I meant on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but
he's going.
Sorry, it's not your fault.
Yeah, but instead of saying, because that's what he went, yeah, that's fine. Don't say that's fine. Say that's on.
That's a goal, or that's not a goal.
Use the language.
It's just the fucking. It could all have been eradicated, but he just turned around and went, that is onside. That goal is onside.
We all know
goal should be awarded. That's all it took.
But again, that's not.
It's not bottled. It's
bottled it because they could have.
Of course, yeah,
because the bloke was saying, "Are you happy with that decision?" He went, "Look," and then you hear him say, "Look at the still," and then that's when you hear the geezer go, "Oh fuck," because he knew he fucked up.
Yeah,
they just didn't have the bottle to stop the game. They said they're playing on. Well, they're playing on.
I think that Mike Dean and Paul Merson argument just showed what it is. I'm going to be honest. They're too arrogant. They're too arrogant. They think they know the laws of the game better than the people that are playing the game. Yeah. They change the laws every fucking week, so it's probably... They think they've got competent training, but that is exactly what is going wrong. Mike Dean sitting there arrogant, yeah, well, having training. Mate, if that happened in any other fucking job, they'd be out the door.
Yeah.
So start sacking the cunts. They make mistakes like that. That is unforgivable. That is unforgivable, yeah? And I'm not talking about... We'll link it back to the referees today, but that's what Ryan said, like, yeah, they're going through training and all. How much more training do you need to fucking talk? That's all it takes is to talk, like, and talk properly and use proper fucking language.
The problem is they was talking,
but they wasn't saying.
They got it wrong. They got it wrong.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're going to turn around and go, yeah, the on-field decision is right, you got to make sure you know what the fucking on-field decision is.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what they did, didn't they?
Well, they didn't.
No, but I know they didn't. But when they realised that's when they should have said stop the game, but they didn't.
Well, that's what he's trying to say. The law states once it's been resumed.
But they should have had the bottle to get in the referee's ear and say stop the game on the fourth official, whoever was listening. They said stop the game, stop the game, because you heard him say like, "Are you sure you're happy with that decision? Look at the still," and that's when he realised. So the thing is, look. Anyway, let's just go back to today's game.
Yeah, they should have had 2 players sent off. But our problem,
the referee, that's the referee's mistake. It's just a human mistake. That is interpretation. It was just a bad rep.
Well, that's what we're talking about today. It was a shit rep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
And today was human error.
Point.
Like,
but he was shit. He didn't know what the fuck he
bottled.
I think he bottled it. I think he was like you said, after everything, he knew he'd given that yellow card early. He's seen that and he's thought, oh shit, if I give him another yellow off, I don't want to do that. He's tried to keep it. They always say refs try and keep it 11 on 11 as much as possible. But I'm sorry, if that's foul,
president.
Yeah, if it's a blatant yellow, everyone can see that is a yellow card. There's no interpretation. No way you can say,
you got to look here as like from the referee. He should be thinking like, if he want to give a yellow card, he'd give it a card for that.
Because you know what the problem was? That's affected us because what happened is, if you notice, they kept doing every time we would go on the counter, they would foul us, right? So it stopped our momentum. And him bottling it with cards and being so hesitant to book them, it played into their hands because we could not get an effective counter-attack going because they'd just bring us down. And if he sends off Gomeres there, they're like, oh shit, this ref's not...
Well, you had that Gomeres one, and you had another one with the Almir on. He's waving his arm about. Emerson for it very early on. You have to be consistent.
Yeah, that's what's pissed us off today is the consistency. You know, if he was consistent for us and consistent for them, you could say, okay, fair enough. He's been consistent. He hasn't. That's what I'm saying. So
the big problem that I think on our side of things that I look at is, I've seen this a lot this season, us going a goal up and then just not being able to hold on to them leads. It's like we just try and protect that 1-0
again
with our dear lives.
I think
chase the second.
I think it comes down to the natural instinct of the players. I think they chase the second and then they run out of steam. I think they go all out looking for the second, and when it don't come, they just think, right, fucking drop back and hold. I don't think it's a Moyes thing.
I just think that there was a lot of players that sort of went missing today, especially out. Well, I think Bowen. I mean, look, we're going to probably talk about that, but obviously he's signed his new deal now, 7 years. Is he up? Love that, love Bowen. But today I thought was a really poor game from him.
You see this a lot. Players get new deals, and then they fucking go missing.
I mean, look, Bowen's hardly lets us down, so I can't sit here and I'm not going to slate him, but sometimes like you just when you need your big players to step up. To be fair though, last 5 minutes he could have grabbed us the winner.
Yeah,
you know, and that is what he's like with players like Bowen, is that they can be quiet for 85 minutes, but then come alive for 5 minutes. But as long as we're in the game, and I thought, because look, their second goal was well worked, great goal, Trippier across, great finish, 2-1, and then they had a chance to go 3-1 up Isaac. I thought Areola done very well to stand up for so long. Aguerd got back and lucky enough it hit the post and
the other side, yeah.
corner. But then Kudus come on with Ben Rama and Kudus just looked up for it. He looked like he just wanted the ball and I felt that he was going to score today. And when he hit that ball, you know, he's hit it so well when it's bounced, once or twice, and then the keeper's getting nowhere near it. It's just fizzed it along the floor, and that was a great finish, and hopefully that does his confidence so well. And then after this international break, I mean, I don't know, he must be going away with Ghana. They must have a game or something.
Problem is, we're going to have the African Cup of Nations this January. I think he's going to go away.
Yeah, we got to prepare for that. But I've got to disagree with you on something you said about that not being a Moyes issue. Because I think if it's one game, and listen, I'm not here to dig into Moyes because I've been happy with what he's done this season, right? But when you say it's not a Moyes issue, if it's one game, yeah. But when it happens so often, the manager's got to address that. He's got to find a way to identify the problem and deal with it. Because, well, what's the point in having a manager if the players just have to...
No, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I do think it's... You know, we've got a lot of new cogs, and I think they're working it out. And that's what I would say. I think they're working it out. So I can't talk about football, mate. The football's good.
Yeah, I agree with both your points there. And I think what Dan said earlier, it comes down to they kept frustrating our play because when we looked to go on the attack and get that second goal, that's where they was drawing in the fouls, and that's what was ruining our...
Yeah.
And on another day, we've seen Ward-Prowse over here just knocking balls around for fun, and it lands at the feet of the striker. Today, they weren't coming off. And I thought one player that we mentioned, I think Soufal had a really good game.
Another assist
for Soufal. Well, what's that? 4 assists now. He's got more than Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, I think
he'll be on my chart in my Premier League show tomorrow. He's going right up that chart.
Yeah,
I thought I've been really impressed with Soufal so far this season. I was a bit worried about him during the summer. I was thinking to myself, look, maybe we need to get another right back in. I remember seeing that here doing the show, and I was thinking, yeah, we need another right back. But he's proven us all wrong.
It's such a weird one because when I speak to neutrals, they all think he's shit. Like, and I'm like, why was he still under the radar so much?
I think he struggles against certain types of players.
Pace
and trickery. Who gave him the run around here the other week? The geezer from Man City.
Is it Kadu?
Yeah, the geezer that scored. They give him a bit of a run around. He struggles against...
Yeah, Sterling had him on the rope.
Yeah, a little bit, but he struggles against players like that. But honest, left back, left winger that are just all pace or all skill, I think he has them on target.
What I like about Soufal as well, it doesn't matter who he comes up against, whether they're better than him, he doesn't shy away.
Yeah.
He might not be good enough to keep up with these players sometimes, and they might beat him with a drop of the shoulder or a bit of skill, but fucking hell, does he let them know he's there sometimes? Yeah. He gets his foot stuck in, and I just think him and Souček have both been on fire this season. That's another goal for Souček. He started the season flying, and I know that he's going to be, it looks like until Kudus is in the team fully, it looks like he's always going to be that double sub, the same sub all the time. But
yeah,
I think once we get Kudus into this team, I'm confident that we'll go on a nice little run, unbeaten. You know, when you look at our record here in 2023, we've had some good games here with good results. We don't lose many at home.
Yeah,
and even when you look at our end of season, like last 20 games, you look at the games we lost, Leicester,
Newcastle, that was terrible. 5-1.
Brentford. We was on holiday because we was looking forward to the final of the Europa League. But no, I'm impressed with the start of the season. 14 points after 8 games now. I think that's a good return. Bearing in mind we played City, Liverpool, Chelsea,
now
Newcastle.
We ain't really talked about Aguerd because I thought today, with them 2 goals, I thought he was poor.
Position.
Yeah, exactly. And
he done well up against he's at like when the balls were coming in because obviously you expect him to win the headers. But yeah, his positioning was poor on both the goals.
It's frustrating because I know there's a very good player there, but when you're seeing Mavropanos just tear it up in Europe each week, and you're thinking, there's got to be a point now where we give him a go in the league and Aguerd, because that's, we are scoring goals, but we're leaking goals. Well, we had 1 clean sheet.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah,
it's not good. It's worried. You can't keep outscoring teams. You've got to try and Moyes will even say himself, he wants the clean sheets. You've got to be more defensive.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's what Moyes usually does. Then he tightens it up at the back, a bit like what Big Sam used to do, coming to these clubs, tighten up at the back, don't concede, and hopefully we'll nick a winner.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, look, overall though, I'm pleased with the start of the season. I can't complain. You know, I wish there would have been some better performances in games, but it's a results business, and I think if we keep carrying on the way we're going, we ain't gonna struggle this season.
Our big problem last season, especially in the second half, was scoring goals.
Yeah.
And now we've addressed that.
I think when you look at the way we've scored goals this season, we're turning back into a set piece team. Let's be honest, we're turning back.
We're not just
that, but it is a big work.
I would like to see the percentage, see how many set pieces we're actually looking at.
Yes,
we didn't score a set piece today.
No, but I think it's, you look at their fucking centre backs, they're like the fucking.
Oh my God, they're like the fucking basketball team out there.
Isn't they? Yeah.
Not even the left back.
I remember when he used to play at Brighton, and you had the two of them. What was it? It was Dan Burn and Duncan. Fucking hell! No wonder we never used to beat them. Size of them.
But they're a big side, so I think we was always going to struggle. So in terms of set pieces, yeah,
we've scored quite a few. We've varied it up in terms of the types of goals. We've had the tap-ins, we've had the set pieces, we've had the goals from outside the box and the goals on the floor, and it's been
last season coming over. I used to sit there thinking I can't see us scoring today, but with this squad and this team, I always feel we will get a chance and we will score, and that's why we went right to the end. You know, and we've nicked a point today, and we could have nicked it like that chance from Bowen. He literally smashed it across the face of the goal. And if Ben Rama, the keeper, touches it, Ben Rama was so unlucky because in another day that could have hit him, not knowing it, and just ended up in the back of the net. Yeah. And that's the difference sometimes. That's the fine margins with football. And
Souček being back in the goals as well.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think he's limited in terms of what a midfielder you want a midfielder to do in terms of progressing the ball, but his movement,
I think he's looked a lot better.
When I look at Souček, I don't see him as a midfielder that's going to get the ball and run it 20, 30 yards and take people, and that's not his game. He's there to break up play, win headers. As soon as he gets that ball, get it out wide or get it in the centre to the players that can take it.
Short pass.
Yes, that's direct pass. Yeah, he's good in our box. He's good in their box. He's a threat, and that a bit like, I know we always, but Fellaini, a bit like what Fellaini used to be like forever.
Yeah,
exactly the same. You know, but Souček doesn't have to carry the ball 20, 30 yards. You've got other players that will do that. He's just to break up the play. Ward-Prowse can carry the ball, but Ward-Prowse is a bit more like that. Ward-Prowse just looks for the space. As soon as he gets space, first thing he's looking is to get the ball forward.
Ward-Prowse's passing ability and Souček's passing ability aren't even the same strategy.
But then that's a good balance, because then you've got one that can do that, and then you've got the other. Souček's probably got strengths that Ward-Prowse can't do, like heading the ball and winning.
Well, I tell you, one of the strengths that Souček's got is arriving in the box late. And that's what he done today. Like, he's the one that was there. He held his run. You see it. There's effect.
I'm glad he was there, because no one else was.
No, that's what I'm saying. Though that's, you know what I mean. Like, you know, I think that sort of ability. And we said that when he first come, it's like Kevin Nolan-esque. You know, when he just delays that run, lets the defender go, just holds back a little bit. And luckily today Emerson was there. And as you said, he won't have an easier goal, but to score. But going from not having an easier goal, that goal from Kudus today was fucking class.
Yeah,
it was.
The Souček would have missed that. He'd have been getting and Jeffy on the outside. Yeah, he couldn't have missed it. And
he had to be in the
right position. He's made that run. Usually he holds his run, but he's made the run. He's followed the play, and that's where Antonio should have been. But obviously Antonio was he started the play, so back in midfield. But yeah, no, I'm just as I said, I think it's been a great start to the season. You know, League Cup going through in that, we're doing well in Europe.
We've only lost to Liverpool and Man City.
17 games unbeaten in Europe. And look, I don't care what competition it is. Going home and away in Europe unbeaten is a fucking big arm.
Look at this, Villa ain't been able to do it already.
Yeah, already. It's a great. Yeah, I think we've just sort of we had that little bit of a spell, didn't we, where we couldn't just break Europe. We couldn't, every time we got in and we go out in the qualifiers. But now, and this is one thing that I think Moyes has cracked Europe. He knows how to set up. Like the other night when we set up, I see everyone complaining about silent, but he knew exactly what to do. And we played, and apart from a poor 10 minutes in the second half, we dominated that game. And for me, I think that would have been our hardest game in the group. I mean, I'm not Olympiacos, I don't know. It might be a difficult game, but they drew 2-2 with the what they called it, Bacticola.
Yeah, so I've got to say, yeah.
So West Ham really get a win against Olympiacos here, and then we only need another point, and we've won the group, and then we missed the next round, and we got to get in March, and that's what we need to do. And for West Ham to win 2 Europa League groups and a Conference League group with a game to spare, that's a great achievement. And it goes underrated, and it won't get talked about a lot by a lot of these big pundits and all that. But it's a fucking hell of an achievement.
Do you think? Sorry, mate.
Go on.
Do you think that the record now will become a little bit of a sort of a chase? Like, will he want to break that record? Say we will go to win the Olympiacos game, and then we draw a game, saying we go through. Will he then look like? Because then you can afford to play two kids teams like we did against.
Yeah.
But do you think you might look at that?
I'll be honest. I'll be totally honest with you, mate. I don't think David Moyes cares about record.
I think he's a very practical man.
As fans, and we like records and that, but I think David Moyes just wants to get the job done.
Yeah.
He don't care about records. If we've already qualified, he don't care if we lose that game. Like all managers want to win, and the fans want to win, but
you also want to give your players a rest.
Puts the kids out, and I'll come over here with my feet up and enjoy that game, and we lose 1-0 like we did against Zagreb that time. As long as we're already through, I don't care. And as long as their players are ready to go for the next game.
Yeah.
So
keep the players as fresh as possible.
I want to go. Obviously, I'd love to go another unbeaten record. We'd go another unbeaten. We win another European trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
love that.
Rather than playing the strongest team in a nothing game just to keep a record longer, let's keep the players fresh and go on this run in the league and try and win it and try and keep fresh.
It's about, because we come into the next international break now. They've got a 2-week break, but it's about, and then there's another one at the sort of end of November, isn't we? But it's about now building up the points, because when that Christmas period comes, I know it's a long way off, but the games come thick and fast, and then you've got the FA Cup coming in January, and it all comes on top of you.
Yeah.
You will lose games. We're not going to win every game, but no, as I said, I can't. I've got no, apart from a couple of performances that I think could have been better, got no complaints with what we've done so far this season. It's a lot better than what I thought he was going to do.
Steady in the league and give it all for the cup competitions. That's what I say.
Done well in Europe. League Cup.
Get that League Cup.
Arsenal
in the League Cup.
Shit, I've got to do my ticket.
Get that fucking game won, and go as far as you can in the cup competitions, because for the club that wants to build, it all builds from, it all builds with little steps. Man City, they had to win League Cups and FA Cups before they went on to win league titles. I'm not going to say we're going to go and win the league titles, but you want to get that culture in the dressing room.
I just want more trophies. I want more parades. I want it all.
This is what I love about the team, though, and with some of the signings we've done over the last season. We've signed winners. Emerson won it all. Zuma won it a lot. We've got players. Areola. We've got players in there that have had big game experiences, and I know when he was here, but Declan Rice obviously had the Euros final. He's had that. And that's one thing we used to lack over the years, having leaders and winners in the changing room. And I can imagine what that changing room's like. I think there's some good voices and good characters in that dressing room. Now, you see them, like, when they turn up to the training ground, the club does their stuff, filming it. They all look happy to be there.
Well, Zuma came in and said, even though he's the captain, he said there's so many big voices in the change room. It's not just him that has to cheer on.
That's what you do.
I think that's good. And you see the influence of people like Lucas Paquetá, who's world class. He's a world class player. He's a Brazil's number 10. We're lucky to have him here at the moment. It might have been different if he didn't, if he didn't get entangled and all that stuff. But players like him, and I think Declan Rice was the same. Players like them with the that ability and that drive, I think it spreads throughout the squad. Yeah. I really do. And I think, like, you see players like Bowen stepping up, Souček stepping up, because I think last year was all about Rice. I think a little few things were said in the changing room, and they wasn't too sure about the future. But they've seen the replacements come in. You've got people like Alvarez, who's a big character. You've got people like Kudos, who looks to be a great signing. Great name that everyone wanted. And I think that it all resonates positivity.
Yeah. Long may it continue. And the thing is, like, that's what you need. As long as success is back-to-back Europe, getting back in Europe every season. Because if we wouldn't have won that Conference League, we wouldn't have been Europa League, we would never have signed Alvarez and Kudos.
No.
They obviously left Ajax to come and play European football with us. So that's why it's so important for us to either get there by winning a trophy. I take that every year, win the trophy and qualifying.
Yeah.
And finishing 6th and not winning something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Irons.
There we go. Yeah, go and check out all the fan cams that we just done. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of. Let me just say, happy today? Happy? Yeah. No. Just before we could. Happy? Yeah. I'm happy.
Oh yeah. Well, obviously I'd rather a win, but we did.
Frustrated with the ref.
Frustrated with the ref.
In summary,
And we just said,
Fucking, we're going the international break, 7th in the league, 14 points.
come on, you right.
Happy.
yeah, I agree, mate. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Fight. As you said, there is an international break next week, but we will be here with content. I'll be away for the next few weeks now. I'll be filming up to the 20th, so this is my last game for a while. So you won't have the pleasure of seeing me for a while. So sorry about that. But you're going to check out all the fan cams that we've just done. And as I said, we've got an international break. Subscribe if you're new. Check out all our merchandise. And if you want to go and join us, support us on Patreon, you can do that. The links are in the description down below. One thing left to say, boys.
Turn on your hands.